Hey, what's up? It's Pika calling in. It is Thursday night. Actually, technically, it's Friday morning. Man, I gotta tell you, I fell asleep. I put baby girl to sleep, and I freaking fell asleep waiting for her to fall asleep, and then I suddenly woke up, and I was like, what the hell is going on? I didn't know where I was. Kind of felt drunk when I woke up. I don't know what happened. I fell asleep. So I took a shower, and I'm here talking to you now because I need to wake up. I have some stuff I needed to get done before I go to bed. So today was a really productive day. I woke up, did the whole 9 yards this morning as far as getting baby girl off to school. I did my Periscope outside. If y'all are interested, obviously you need to get on periscope.tv and check out Crowned for Queen, the channel. And my Periscope episode is actually still up at the moment. What were we talking about? Wow, what were we talking about? My sleep is like in the way at the moment. I can't think. um, we were talking about how we have a tendency to bullshit ourselves about who we really are. So once we get that out the way and we know who we are, our self-awareness kicks in. It gets a lot easier to get things done because then there are no pretenses about what you're trying to get done and what you can and cannot get done. So that's what we're talking about this morning. Yesterday morning. Went to work, and right now in education in Singapore at the moment, it's PSLE marking days. So Deepavali was a public holiday, and then most schools actually closed Thursday, Friday of this week, and then Monday, Tuesday of next week because they just had major exams, so the teachers need time to mark all those exams. Excuse me. Okay, so because PSLE marking days, it means that our center was brimming with children because parents need kids to go somewhere. Usually it's a student care center, or if they have maids, whatever, they hang out at home. But for us, our kids normally just attend classes as usual, get in a couple extra tuition, sessions, and finish up homework or existing project or whatever. So they're going to be with us all tomorrow, day after, and then Monday as well. Monday and Tuesday as well. So, because it was very busy, there were people in and out the office all day. But I actually got a lot of work done. I don't know about you, but I love my headphones. So if I stick my headphones in, whether it's solfeggio tones or scores by Hans Zimmer or whatever it is, you know me, right? I don't do lyrical music that often because I need to concentrate, especially if I'm in the zone. If I'm not in the zone, if I'm like falling asleep, obviously lyrical music will help. But other than that, scores are beautiful. They're perfect. They kind of give you the kind of energy you need. Sometimes they're a little sleepy, but they're kind of like the perfect white noise. I tried, there was an app that used to be able to put up white noise from like movie scenes and stuff. So like, I don't know, Harry Potter, Gryffindor, Common Room, blah, blah, blah. Like I tried that stuff and it was cool and all, but I would have fallen asleep with that. So it didn't quite work. So I do like music. I like music. I like music that evokes emotion. So obviously I'll know my favorite is what's it called? Man of Steel. The Man of Steel's the score. So I really, really love that because I can follow along with all the emotions that come up during the movie because I know exactly what is playing or what scene is playing during the particular part of the score that's playing in my ear. Anyway, that aside, excuse me. I actually worked on I don't know if you can call it transcription per se, but basically we have these composition and comprehension texts that for the secondary English students they would use as worksheets basically. So you have a text, you have to go through the text, analyze the text, answer a bunch of questions or whatever. So I think the texts that we have on those worksheets, I'm not sure if we have the original file, so my job at the moment is to go through and recreate them in Word so that we have like a copy on our drives outside of the paper copies that we photocopy and give out to the kids or whatever. So we've been doing that. I actually finished 2.5 of those worksheets. I guess for lack of a better word, we say transcribing, yeah. So I transcribed 2.5 of those worksheets, and that was pretty cool. It took took me all day actually. I did have one former colleague come in and interview with us today, but I wasn't involved because it would have been a conflict of interest. But yeah, just typing, and I love it though. I really love it. I love mindless work like that. Sometimes I need that to break the monotony. I love to create. I love to express myself, but sometimes I need that monotonous stuff to kind of break up all of that creativity, because you get drained really fast. I don't know about you, but I feel like you get drained really fast. Anyway, so that was basically the day. Got home, finished off. I made quesadilla casserole, like with pasta instead of just with, tortillas, and make it like actual quesadillas. But it's like the filling that you would have had in quesadillas. It was very vegan. It was like basically beans, tomatoes, corn, onions, obviously, and then just some flavorings. A lot of cumin in those dishes, which I actually love. I love the flavor of cumin. I love the smell of cumin, actually. I'm not sure why. Anyway, so we polished that off, so I have to cook tomorrow, which is not a big deal, but yeah, I do need to do that. And ended up having a conversation with one of my cousins. Had to catch up with her for a while. She's been through a lot. I'm really proud of her, actually, and she's doing really well. She's kind of settled her nerves on everything that's happened this year, and she's moving forward. I'm very, very proud of her. I mean, most people in her situation at her age would probably break down and complain and like start acting up because they need attention or whatever, but she's not like that, and I'm actually quite pleased with her amount of progress. So I just wanted to touch base with her today, see how she was doing, and from there time kind of got away from me, and pretty soon it was time to go to bed. So tonight I want to talk to you about luck. I don't know how many of y'all believe in luck. Do y'all believe in luck? I believe in luck, kind of, I guess. It's not conventionally what you would consider luck, though. It's more like, what is that definition? It is when opportunity meets preparation. Okay? So obviously we have no idea when luck will strike, or when opportunity will pop up, or any of those things. So the best thing you can do is stay prepared. And obviously the next question would be like, well, how do you stay prepared if you don't know what's coming? You do things. You do things like increase your skill set. You do things like make sure that, whatever it is you want out of life, you're actually doing something towards those goals. So for me, obviously Crown for Success is a huge, huge, huge part of my life. It was a golden parachute opportunity, basically, that has given me a lot of skills, a lot of know-how, a lot of content and value. And on top of that, I have a network that goes along with it, because everyone that comes in through our RVP program ends up being like lifelong. It's almost like a sorority, I guess, like an online sorority. We end up being like really, really good friends. Obviously, you won't click with everybody, but there's certain people in the group that you're like particularly close to. I've mentioned her name over and over again. I'm mentioning it again, damn it. Vanessa. Vanessa is a very, very good friend of mine. Mia is a very good friend of mine. I gotta apologize. Mia, I'm so sorry. It's been a long time since I've caught up with you, and I really need to call you up. But with you being in China and WhatsApp being ridiculous in most countries, I'm having trouble with WhatsApp in Sri Lanka as well, just so you know. So Sri Lanka and China, y'all get your shit together, because WhatsApp is key, people. Anyway, so I guess I'll try and find you on WeChat and see if I can contact you that way. Side note, right? Okay, so luck, preparation, and opportunity, when they collide, I feel like is luck. It's like fate. It's like kismet. It's like serendipity. Synchronicity, whatever you want to call it. But I love the fact that kind of exists, and obviously there are so many things that go into those things falling into place, but even then you control an aspect of it. You control your preparation. So just to give you a couple of examples from my own life, yeah, because this year has been tremendous. It has been momentous. There has been so much going on, and I just need to, I don't know, I need to be so grateful for the amount of things that have kind of fallen into place in my life. So yeah, as I was preparing to graduate from the RVP program, there were several opportunities that kind of popped up. We had the opportunity to jump onto Periscope. Now Periscope, I didn't know where I was going to go with that, and I obviously thought, oh well, YouTube would be better than Periscope. Why are we using Periscope? No one uses Periscope. But that's not true, obviously, because we do use Periscope. There are plenty of us out there that are still using this platform. I know of one young lady who's been doing it every day since Periscope started, and she's like super influencer, right? But she's super humble, and she helped me understand what it was to be on Periscope. I didn't think you'd ever be able to get in touch with influencers like that, but somehow I was able to have a conversation. I think it was like 2 days before my first Periscope show. Had a conversation with her real quick. Obviously, it was in front of everybody, but I was able to kind of pick her brain and ask her, what is the purpose of Periscope? The reason I did that is because, yeah, you could look it up and find out, but for the most part, how people actually use it and what it was designed for is not always the same thing. So I asked a major influencer, and she was able to tell me. So it's a lifestyle, bird's eye view, basically. To use a periscope on a submarine means you, from one place, you can look into another place and see what's going on before you decide to either join that group or join that place or whatever it is. So it's like a quick look into the lives of whoever or however. We've been using it quite differently, though. We've been using it as a learning platform because it's nice to be able to connect with people, and it's a great platform if you want people to interact with you, ask you questions and stuff. Obviously, you do have that same functionality, capability here on Facebook Live with the audio and the live video, but for the most part, people listen quietly, but they don't always engage you. So it's a little different. So as I was saying, being on Periscope was an opportunity I was not prepared for, but as I started getting used to it, you got to start somewhere, right? You start somewhere, you're a beginner, and eventually if you do things over and over again and learn and expand your mind a little bit, eventually it becomes second nature. So I have not to date missed a Periscope show, and it's changed the way I view things. It's changed the way I do things. And obviously, it's prepared me for another opportunity. There is another opportunity coming up next month. I'm not going to divulge in any details yet, but suffice it to say it would be a live show again. Okay, sorry. It's not a live show. It's pre-taped, but it is a video show that a lot of us have the opportunity to become a part of because we've been doing Periscope consistently. So that is another opportunity for me where I've become prepared, and the two kind of collided, and there's this new opportunity. Like, there's no new piece of luck, basically, for me. So I'm actually very excited about that. Another example from my life would be as my maid was getting ready to leave. She was meant to leave in August, okay? And little by little, I don't like change. I like having people around. I get very, very used to having people in the house. And when people suddenly move on or leave or whatever it is, I have serious separation anxiety. I have no sense of permanence in my life, and so with that comes like a strong sense of separation anxiety. So when my maid was like, I'm not going to renew for another year because I can't. I need to go home. I've been building a house back there. My husband's waiting. I need to go home. It's about that time. And I was like, all right, fine. You know what? Totally understand. I'm on board with that. The next thing I needed to do was make sure that I was prepared for the day when she would no longer be with me. So little things like, as it was only the three of us in the house, so there wasn't that much to clean every day. While she did get up and mop and sweep and all that stuff and cook for the day and everything, it's really great, but it wasn't super necessary. I had to go back and look at what all she did and how much she did that I could slowly take over, so that when she did leave, it wasn't like, oh, hello, surprise, you have to take over all this stuff now. So what I started doing was taking over little bits of pieces of the things that she was doing, the work that she was doing. Little things like I started doing the laundry. I've always done the laundry because I'm particular. She doesn't listen when I tell her that you need to separate the clothes so that they don't bleed onto each other. You don't, fade out the whites and stuff like that. So she wouldn't listen, so I just started doing it myself, which wasn't bad. I've handled all this stuff before in the U.S. It was a family of 5 and I did everything. So it's not like I actually needed a maid, but it's the culture here and the fact that I didn't have someone to take care of her while I was working night shift. That was a big deal. So that's the only reason I gave in and got a maid. So like I said, little by little, I started preparing myself for the day when she would not be here. Laundry was really, really simple. Let's think about this. You separate clothes, it takes maybe 10 minutes, maybe. And then when you have a chance, you put one load in, hang it out to dry. You kind of have to time it with whether there's sunshine or not. You got to pay attention to whether it rains or not, because everything is hung outside here, even though we're high-rise living, right? So, little things like that really don't take time, but it does take some preparation. You do have to kind of plan it out so that everything works out well, timing-wise. I started taking over the cooking. I started taking over... I started changing habits. So I started going to bed on time as much as I could, considering it was shift work. Eventually I switched jobs because I could no longer do shift work, and I needed a better salary, a better opportunity for me to grow, because I was in a position and hospitality where I was no longer growing. I was kind of stuck where I was, and there was nowhere for me to move up or out or whatever. So started taking over little by little, and eventually I was pretty much running everything, and then she was just here to take care of baby girl during the day because baby girl was not enrolled in school still. I was still homeschooling her. And eventually that happened too. I went ahead and found like a daycare center for her and started taking her to school on my way to work and picking her up and everything. And I had planned it in such a way that the daycare center was only one bus stop away from where I was. So if anything happens, I don't have to rely on anybody else to run and get her, or I wouldn't be able to get her in time because it was too far away. So I planned all of that. Well, as luck would have it, a week after baby girl started daycare, this woman started acting up. And there was really no need. So she did silly things like she wouldn't get any of the work done. I'd come home and there wouldn't be any food cooked. She'd ask me things like, well, what are you going to make for dinner? And she would sit there and look at me like, okay, you better make sure that you take care of me too, because I only eat chicken, I don't eat nothing else. So it was like difficult decisions like that started irking my nerves, little things where she would fall asleep while baby girl was in the house, or disappear and go take long showers during the day, and baby girl, the only thing she had to do was actually take care of her, right? So push come to shove, right? I was already prepared for her not to be here. And she was already feeling that, that graduation feeling senior year where you don't want to do any work. You're about to be done. You don't want to put in the effort anymore. It's kind of like that feeling. Anyway, so she was starting to act up. And the last straw was I found out she left little one downstairs in the playground with a 7-year-old to watch her while she came upstairs to get her phone. Lord, if I can tell you how hard my heart hit my stomach basically when I heard that, and the little one was the one who told me about this. I was pissed. I don't think I've seen red for that long in my life. So then I started doing things like preparing to get her out of the house that day, because there had been a couple warnings already in the previous week. So this was the last straw. I got the agent on the phone, organized the money to make sure she was paid her last month's pay or whatever, and yeah, she was about to be out of there. But like I said, as luck would have it, the opportunity presented itself where she would no longer be there, that I would have to take over on my own anyway, and I was already doing it. So because I was prepared and this situation arose, the luck part of it was that I was able to seamlessly just jump into whatever I needed to do without too much trouble because I was already prepared to do it. So luck. Opportunity meets preparation, for real. I want you to really think about what it is you want out of life. What skill sets do you want? Obviously, you don't know what opportunities will present themselves. But why not, like I mentioned in my Periscope this morning, why not triple down on your strengths? Why not build yourself based on the things you are very, very good at doing and earn a couple new skills along the way so that if the opportunity arises, you are ready. This goes in line with the broad strokes of your life plan, right? What do you want to do in the next year? What do you want to accomplish in the next 5 years? All these things they sound like real business coach type stuff, but they're simple common sense. What do you want out of life? Okay, once you figure that out, what are you going to do to get there? How are you going to get there? Obviously, when we're little, we're told, okay, you need to go through primary school or elementary school. Then you need to go to middle school. Then you need to go to high school. From high school, you are expected to go to college, right? So you know what you need to do to get there, and you kind of start thinking about, okay, what is it I want to study? So once you're prepared with, your SAT scores, your ACT scores, for Singapore, it would be your L1 R5s, your O levels, your A levels, your PSLEs, all those things. Once you are prepared to actually pass those exams based on what it is you want to do next, you kind of have options that open up to you because you are suddenly prepared for those things. So if you really want to get into a good JC, you want to make sure you get A star, right? If you want to get into university, you need to make sure that you pass secondary English, because without English, a pass in English is going to bring your whole L1 R5 score down, and you won't be able to place in the kind of schools that you want to go to, right? So all these things matter. So all it is you're preparing yourself for what you know is going to come next. If you want this is how you get there. Does that make sense? So I'm hoping this gave you a little bit more value. I hope you understand what it is I'm trying to accomplish here. I hope you meet on the same level as what I'm trying to explain to you, because it is important that you are able to see into the future a little bit. It is important to know where you've been, where you are right now, and where you're going so you know exactly how to get there next. All right? So, once again, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. And the only thing you really can control in that formula is the preparation part. Prepare yourselves. If I hadn't been willing to let go of my ego and let go of my idea of how the universe should work my life out, I wouldn't be able to move forward this fast. Does that make sense? And the universe will always put people in your path to get you to that next level. Like right now, I have a couple of friends from college whom I never really had a close relationship with when I was in college, but I knew them, they knew me. We were polite. We say hey to each other when we walk by or whatever. But right now, they're major influences in my life because I'm watching what they're doing because I have a plan to be in that same area that they are. So the content that I put out, the way that I express myself, these are all things that really matter to me. So the opportunity is going to present itself, but I need to get there with the preparation part of it. Another thing, I dabble in writing. I love to write. Obviously, y'all know about the blogs, but what you don't know is I like creative writing as well. I love poetry and prose. Not always do I rhyme. Not always is iambic pentameter, obviously, but I like imagery a lot. I like evoking emotion through what I'm writing, the way I say it, the images I use, the alliteration that comes out, all of these things are important to me. So I actually had the opportunity recently pop up, not even recently, it was yesterday, okay? My cousin is a published author. He has, I think it's 3 or 4 books of, his poetic stylings that are published now, and he has an opportunity for me that he posted on my wall saying that, why don't you go out there and create some new stuff? I've seen your writing, I've been reading up on your writing, and I think you have talent, so why don't you polish up on this a little bit and put it out there? I mean, what's the worst that could happen? If people don't like you, great, whatever, but at least it forced you to level up and do something more. There are so many things you're capable of doing. Yes, there are 24 hours in a day, but what do you think you'd be able to accomplish if you put one of those skills that you have into like not a 24/7, but like 7 days a week, 365 days a year kind of habit? What if you were to write, I don't know, 500 words every day as like a closing for your day, like a journal writing? How would you be? How do I explain this? To be able to get something creative like that to become a habit means that you can kind of control your writer's block to a degree, okay? Because suddenly your mind shifts at that particular time. If you do it the same time every day, right, your mind is ready for that kind of creativity. So that's, again, preparation meets opportunity, because one day someone's going to decide they notice you, and one day they're going to pass it on to the right people, and one day, I don't know, you could get the opportunity of a lifetime and blow up from there. But that's what they're saying, overnight success, there's no such thing. There is a grind before that. There is a hustle before that. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And the more you practice your craft, the more you put in effort to hone your skills, to perfect your talents, to perfect your art, the better off your chances are. Gary Vee was talking about Wine Library TV, right? And he had like thousands of episodes that he put out there, and before anyone actually really caught on to the fact that he was doing these things. But even then, once they did, you know how consumers are now, right? Once you find a sitcom that you like, what do you want to do? You fucking want to binge watch that shit, don't you? So why not create all the content? Why not go ahead and put all that content out there for free? So when somebody does figure out that you exist, they have stuff to binge watch. They can go back and listen to all the podcast episodes that you've ever created. They might laugh at some. They may be like, all right, she was high on that one. Let's disregard that one. I mean, it could be anything, but why not? Why not keep going? He mentioned recently that you should never be worried about how many people are following you. You should never be worried about how many people are listening in, who actually write to you, who comment, who want to know more about you. You should never worry about the numbers. Just keep putting it out there. Just keep putting it out there, because people will catch up at some point. They've been sleeping on you for the longest time, and all of a sudden you hit that one note that really resonates with everybody, and suddenly they want to know more about you. They're going to go through and binge watch, I'm telling you. So luck is preparation that meets opportunity. The preparation part, That's the only thing you can control. So why not go ahead and control it, man? Why not write a piece of music every day? Why not write, I don't know, 8 bars every day? Why not just express yourself every day? Do something you love every day. If you're an artist, be like my girl out in Malaysia, my cousin Avina, okay? Why not create a piece of art every day? Why not? I mean, how hard is it? How long could it possibly take? It's not going to take you all day, obviously. And you don't have to finish it, but you can start. Why not, right? What's the worst that could happen? You get into a zen place and kind of like zone out for a little bit while you're doing your thing. Why not? Is that really so bad? All right, you guys, I have no idea what time it is. I should probably go to sleep. I'm really debating whether or not I get up to this live conference call I have at 4 o'clock in the morning. I have the option to listen to it recorded, and you know what? That's starting to sound better and better every day, because it's a 2.5-hour call, and I'm a half dead as it is, so I think I made my decision. I'm just going to listen to it recorded, because I need to finish this course either way. I'm not about to procrastinate on that part, but I will not be a functioning adult tomorrow if I don't get some sleep. So I love you all. I hope you have a wonderful morning or night, whichever one the case may be for you. And I will touch base again tomorrow. Okay? All right, you guys. Bye.